Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we are here to talk about my drugstore favorites for 2018. So if that is something you're interested in watching, you're in the right place. We're about to get into it. Alright guys, so drugstore favorites for 2018. Now, there are a couple of things that I want to talk to you guys about before we go into this. Number one, I have a ton of stuff here, so I'm going to go fairly quickly. Number two, just because I talk about a certain product in a certain category doesn't mean there aren't other good things in that category that came out in the year 2018. These are my most reached for drugstore products for this past year. So I hope that makes sense to you guys, and hopefully some of these will be some of your favorites, and maybe if you haven't tried some of this stuff, you will. So without further ado, let's see what my favorite most reached for drugstore products were this past year. So first, I'm actually going to start with something a little bit different, wipes. Now, I use these wipes. I don't use any other wipes. And if I run out of these, then I am ordering from Costco when I'm on my last pack. I hate using any other makeup wipe. This is the Kirkland Signature Makeup Wipe from Costco. And these are the thickest, best makeup wipes that I have ever seen, bar none. And you get them in this big gigantic box from Costco. They're incredibly inexpensive. Trust me, you will thank me for it. If you have never tried these makeup wipes, you need them in your life. They are by far the best makeup wipes on the market. Next is also another random drugstore product, but it is something that I can't be without. And if you guys are familiar with the As Seen on TV section in CVS or the other places in the drugstore that sell their As Seen on TV products, there is a hair remover that's called the Flawless Hair Remover. Well, they have recently come out with one for your brows, and you guys, this thing is a lifesaver. So I used to go and get my brows waxed, but I don't anymore because I love this thing. So basically it's just this little mini hair remover. It has an LED light right here. I'm going to turn it on, and this little LED light comes on. You can hear it. And it lights up the area of the skin that you're using this on. And what you do is, for me, where I have the most hairs are right up here above the brow, and then, you know, right in here as well, because all of this has to be cleaned out in order for your eyeshadow application to be pretty flawless. And sometimes getting in there with those little tinkle razors can be really, really dangerous, and you always don't have time to go in and get waxed. So this little sucker just gets right in here, and I just run it right around in here, and it takes care of all of the peach fuzz so that my eyeshadow application always goes on perfect. It's like 20 bucks. It's in the As Seen on TV section. I won't go without it. I love this thing. So if you've seen this and you need something to do a little maintenance on your brows, definitely grab it. By far, my most used beauty blender from the drugstore is by Sonia Kashuk. And typically I pick them up from Target in this double pack. There's usually two in this pack. And this is definitely my most reached for drugstore sponge. It is gorgeous. This is it dry, and this is it damp. It is so soft and makes such quick work when you're applying your foundation. I absolutely love these sponges. This is probably, if I had to guess, I've probably gotten a half a dozen of these packs throughout the course of the year. This is by far my most used beauty sponge from the drugstore in 2018. Next up, I just want to go through a couple of affordable brushes really quickly. This one is actually by LA Girl, and it's the number 202 eye blender. And I don't even remember how cheap this was, but it's LA Girl, so it wasn't very expensive at all. This is one of my most reached for eye blender brushes. I love it. It's just a tapered, fluffy blending brush, but it's not, it's a little firm. It's got some firmness to it, so it does a really good job, especially when it comes to crease work. This is a beautiful, inexpensive brush. You can find it online at LA Girl Cosmetics, and you can definitely get it there, but I also picked this up at the drugstore. So anywhere where you can find LA Girl, if you can find this 202 shadow blending brush, it is definitely worth it. This is a brush that I use every single day. Now, this is the Flower Beauty eyeshadow brush. However, I don't use this for eyeshadow because it has this very unique kind of oval shape here. It sits perfectly in my tear trough. So I use this for corrector. Whenever I put corrector on, I blend it out with this brush. I use this brush every single day, and it has held up, and I've had this for a little over a year, and it gets washed daily. I use it daily. This sucker is definitely one of my go-tos. Overall, Flower Beauty makes some gorgeous brushes that are well made. They're very, very well built. They're really unique. They all have a flat bottom that so everything can like sit on a tabletop. It's actually kind of cute. But this one in particular, I love this brush. Use it every day. The only other brushes that I've ever reached for on a daily basis from a drugstore price point is two from the Bad Habit Beauty set. It's number 2 and number 3, and it's both of the shader brushes. It's the larger fluffy brush and then the smaller shading brush. I love these two brushes from the Bad Habit Beauty set, and I think the whole set was like $12, I think, something like that. But these two brushes in the collection were absolutely worth it, and I use these just about every day. Next up is foundation. Unfortunately, you guys, I don't use a lot of drugstore foundation, and that is not for lack of trying. I've tried them all at some point in time. The one foundation that I have found myself reaching for from the drugstore is the Candid foundation. And if you guys have been around on my channel lately, then you know that this was one that I recently fell in love with. This is an amazing foundation. I love the finish. It looks stunning on. I absolutely think this is the standout foundation from a drugstore perspective for 2018. I love it. This is my only daily foundation from the drugstore. I shouldn't say daily, more like in my rotation. That's what I should say. Next, let's talk about eye primers. Two favorites. One is from Morphe. You can pick this up. It's really inexpensive at Ulta. This is the eyelid primer in translucent. It is absolutely gorgeous. Works like a dream. The other eye primer is from Bad Habit Beauty. This is everything. This primer is phenomenal. I love the way this primer makes all of my shadows sit on the eye. They last forever. This is a great eye primer. One other eye primer I will never be without, and that is my NYX Pigment primer. If I'm working with pressed pigment, especially if I want to really pack on some pigment and I want it to be really, really dense, but I don't want it to fall out and I want it to last all day, I reach for the NYX Pigment primer. This is a must-have if you have any palettes with pressed pigments in them. This is absolutely a necessity in your collection. So if you don't have this, definitely grab it. Next, we're going to talk about correctors and concealers, and for me in the drugstore space, it's the same brand, and this is the only one that actually I can honestly say that I reach for this daily. I have been on such a kick with this concealer and this brightener lately, and I'm sure you guys know what it is, and that is the Kokie Cosmetics Be Bright Concealer. I have this in light medium and in medium beige. I love this concealer, you guys. I have reached for this concealer so much. It looks beautiful on. It doesn't crease. It has a lot of pigment in it. It also has some brightening aspects to it. So if you deal with dark circles, this would be a great option for you. If you've never checked out the Be Bright concealers from Kokie Cosmetics, I would absolutely recommend that you do. For this past year, this was by far my favorite drugstore concealer, and also my favorite drugstore corrector. The correctors that they have, this one is their illuminating concealer in peach, and this is beautiful underneath the concealer. This does a great job at canceling out dark circles, and it also has, again, some illuminating properties, so it does brighten that under eye area as well. So if you have any sunken in areas, or if you have some really deep tear troughs and you need to pull those forward a little bit, this is perfect for that. Beautiful, beautiful formula. Next up is powder. First, we're going to talk about translucent powder. And you guessed it, my favorite this year is from Kokie Cosmetics. Now, I really found this combination this year, these concealers and these for under eye setting powders. And I love these powders. I have the translucent, and I also have the yellow, which is not like bright yellow like this. It's more of like a really pale kind of yellow. And I am almost out of this one. It is almost time for another one. But I love the way that this looks underneath the eye to set with your concealer with. I love the translucent powder just to work it in my T-zone to help me control oil throughout the course of the day. It does a great job at it, and it looks beautiful, fills in the pores, the whole 9 yards. From the drugstore, this is the best loose powder, and obviously the one I reached for the most this year. From a pressed powder perspective, this is actually a brand new one. I just hit pan on my old one, and that is the Physicians Formula Mineral Wear. It is an airbrushed formula, and I don't know if you guys have ever tried this or if you've ever seen this, but this is a talc-free mineral powder, and I love this as just an all-over setting powder to set your foundation. It's beautiful. You get a very airbrushed look to the skin. I get a lot of compliments when I'm wearing this about your skin looks like velvet. What is it that you have done different to your skin? It's always this powder. It's called the Mineral Wear talc-free powder, and it just makes your skin look airbrushed. I reach for this a lot, especially if I am going into a meeting and I want to just kind of touch up really quickly and get rid of some shine. I reach for this. Or if I'm going out for the night and I just want to have a super airbrushed look to my skin, I reach for this as well. I love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful formula, and it's so soft. It's really stunning. This is actually in translucent, but they do have some that have pigment, so you can get light medium or medium to deep if you want to add like an extra layer of coverage with your foundation. But I just like the translucent formula because the finish it leaves on your skin is like velvet. It makes your skin look very airbrushed. Next up, we're going to talk about contour and highlight from the drugstore. And if you watched my dupe video, then you already know what I'm about to talk about. And that is the Peri Para bronzer and highlighter, and I use these as the dupes for the Charlotte Tilbury contour and highlight wands. I got these at CVS because CVS carries the Peri Para line, and they're sponge applicators. But the thing that I love about this contour is the tone. It has that beautiful gray taupey kind of color that's just a beautiful contour tone. This is a beautiful tone for nose contour as well. I absolutely love this product. And then its sister, the highlighter. This is a stunning cream highlighter, you guys. Now I got this in like a pink kind of icy highlighter, but it is so stunning on the cheeks, you guys, especially as a cream. Just pop it on there after you've put your foundation on. Sometimes I'll actually pop this on and then put my foundation over top of it if I want something a little muted. But if I want something that's gonna really like highlight the cheekbone, then I'll put this on right after I put my foundation on, and then I'll set everything with the translucent powder, and it just looks stunning. I love these two together, are beautiful. Next up is another Flower Beauty option. I love this trio. This is the Lift and Sculpt Contouring Palette. One of the main things that I really like in here, again, is this contouring powder. It's a beautiful tone. I will say that this formula overall in all three of these pans is very powdery, but it is beautiful. This pink, even though it looks like it's a really bright, like obnoxious pink, it's really not. It just leaves this beautiful wash of color on the cheeks, and it's not this bright. It looks gorgeous. This is a beautiful, beautiful tone, and this highlighter is ridiculous. Like, this is one of those make your cheek look wet kind of highlighters. Like, it's look at that, you guys, and that was just like a little tiny bit. It is a stunning highlighter. So this is a gorgeous formula. If you guys ever see this palette where Flower Beauty is sold, snatch it up. This is the light to medium version of this palette, and it is gorgeous. And then, of course, you know, it's got the rose gold etching on the outside. It's just very aesthetically pleasing anyway. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Of course, if we're talking about contour products, I have to talk about the Chocolate Bar Bronzer and Highlighter from Makeup Revolution. This is a gorgeous duo. This is a beautiful contour tone, and this highlighter is stunning. And again, this is from Makeup Revolution. This is it's like a dupe for the Bronze and Glow from Charlotte Tilbury. If you're looking for just a really cheap, inexpensive, but really, really good quality contour and highlight palette, they have this at Ulta, or you can order it online, or you can get it from Revolution Beauty online. Gorgeous. Absolutely worth the money. I love this. Next up, we're going to talk about brows, and this is going to be something that's probably going to make you guys laugh. I've talked about profusion before on my channel, but this is one of probably my most used items from profusion that a lot of people don't know that I reach for like pretty regularly, and that is their profusion brows bundle, whatever. Ignore this ucky stuff down here. I don't know why they always put stickers on their stuff, and they're so hard to get off, and it's obnoxious, and it drives me crazy. Anyway, this whole thing was like 15 bucks. I got it at Target, and you guys, if you have a hard time with your brows, if your brows give you trouble and you don't know how to do them, they kind of make you mad because you can't ever really figure it out, so you just kind of slap on a gel and go on about your day, this set is for you. If you see this at Target or anywhere where profusion is sold, now around the holidays, you can see this little kit like up on the rack at like CVS or Rite Aid, where they have like the little gift sets. Look for this. This is like, again, it was like 15 bucks, and you guys, this has everything in it. On this side, you have a giant mirror, which is really, really nice, but these are all brow powders. So you have every shade that you could ever need for your brows here. If you are like more red and auburn, I use this one here the most. I go between these two, and every once in a while I'll take a little bit out of here just to add some additional dimension to my brows. This is like an eyebrow highlight, so you want to put this like right underneath your brow, like right here. I actually have it on tonight. It's that shimmer that you see right at my brow line. That's what this is. And then this is an eyebrow wax. So it's just very waxy. You can just kind of rub it over your brow hairs when you're done, and then brush through it with a spoolie, and it just keeps everything in place. So that's this side of the palette. This side of the palette is so much fun. So you have a pair of tweezers up here, which are actually a really good pair of tweezers. I use this to get all my little stray eyebrow hairs up. This is a clear eyebrow gel. Now, I don't use this that often because it doesn't dry down. Like, I have it on tonight, and it's always just like a little bit tacky, so I don't like to use this too often. I like brow gels that actually dry down, and this one is always like just a little bit tacky, so this isn't my favorite thing in this kit. This is a beautiful spoolie. So this is just like a spoolie to run through your eyebrows. One thing I like about this is that that's all this is it's just a spoolie. So it doesn't have like, you know, another brush on the end that you have to worry about. It is just a spoolie. And then here you have a separate brush for your eyebrow powders, and then you have this little doohickey to get right underneath here so that you can put your brow bone highlight on. So you have that double-ended brush there. And then this is a pencil. So this side is a darker side, and you use that to actually fill in your brows. And then this side is like a lighter side that you would use to fill in the brows. So you have a brow pencil and you have powder, so either way you want to go. The powder is great quality. I actually used it tonight, so I have this whole thing on my eyes tonight because I use this a lot. And one of the best things I love about this is that it also comes with stencils, and all of these are just different kinds of, you can probably see the one that I use the most is this one. So this makes your eyebrow work like dummy proof. So you basically just put it on where your eyebrow is, and then you just lay it down, and then you go and you get your powder on your brush and you just go crazy. And then when you lift this off, you'll have a perfect eyebrow. So the stencils are included in this as well. So I'm telling you guys, if eyebrows are a struggle and you are looking for a really good eyebrow product from the drugstore and you can afford the 15 bucks, it's like $14.99, then this kit is worth it. This is one of the best brow kits that I have come across, and it's by Profusion of all people. I would love to see some of the bigger end kind of companies come out with this all-in-one kit and keep it under 20 bucks. That would be amazing. But Profusion did it, and it's good quality products except for the brow gel, but some of you guys might like the brow gel. Other than that, everything else in here is amazing, and it's up here right next to my mirror. I use it every day. Next up is mascaras. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because you guys probably already know my favorites if you've been around for any length of time on this channel. Of course, it is the Kokie Volume and Length, or the Essence Lash Princess in the Sculpted Volume. I think this was like less than $5. This is like super cheap. Anything from Essence is super cheap. And then the Kokie obviously is really, really cheap. But both of these are gorgeous mascaras. You can't go wrong with either one of these. Now with this next category, I only had two from the drugstore that I reach for. A lot of the liquid lipsticks that I use are not drugstore formulas. That was surprising to me. I thought I would have more drugstore liquid lipsticks than I actually do. And I do have them, but I don't use them all the time. The only two that I actually use all the time because I love them are the Bad Habit formula. So I love the Bad Habit matte liquid lipsticks. Great formula, very comfortable, comparable with any high-end matte liquid lipstick. And then the other one that I use is actually the Alyssa, Ashley, and e.l.f. gloss that came out. This is the Nude Rose. It's actually what I have on my lips tonight. It is a very like nude rose gloss. That's the way I would describe it, is just a nude rose gloss. It's a gorgeous color. I love it. I think it's really, really pretty. It lasts, you know, when you put it on, it like about as long as a gloss does. But these are really the only two drugstore liquid lipsticks that I enjoy enough to reach for on a daily basis. So that's it for lips. For eyeliners from the drugstores, you guys, there's only two that I ever reached for from the drugstore, and that is the Physicians Formula Eye Booster eyeliner. This is, if you are uncomfortable with these kind of felt tip eyeliners, this is a great product for you to grab. Number one, it's one of the blackest eyeliners that I've seen in the drugstore space. But number two, this isn't a felt tip. It's actually a brush. So it just, I think sometimes working with a brush on your lash line, it just makes things easier. This is an absolute smudge-proof, foolproof formula. So it doesn't matter what you do with this, it's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't bleed. It doesn't, you know how when you put an eyeliner on, if you've got some fine lines, it'll kind of bleed into other parts of your eye that you don't want it to go to. This doesn't do that. This is a really, really good eyeliner. If you guys have never checked this out, definitely check it out. Again, it's the Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 lash boosting eyeliner and serum. I don't know about it being like some kind of extension serum or something, but as far as an eyeliner goes, it's amazing. Now, I've tried all of the CoverGirl and Milani and all the other eyeliners out there, and I just don't find that any of them last long enough or don't bleed or don't smudge or have some kind of issue that I am just not a fan of, other than the Physicians Formula and the Eye Define Waterline from Pixie Woo. Now, I love this for the waterline. These are amazing because once they're there, they're there. Now, I can say this, the one thing about this is you want to put this on your waterline when your waterline isn't wet. So you kind of want to do that anyway with waterlines, but a lot of times it's hard to catch our waterline when it's not watery or there's not water on it. Just make sure that your waterline is dry. You can take just a Q-tip and just go across it really quickly and then put this on it, and you won't have to worry about this for the rest of the day because this ain't going anywhere. And that's the one thing I love about this. So as far as the drugstore is concerned, this is the only tight liner that I will ever pick up. Pixie Woo. It is the Eye Define Waterline. All right, guys, we are almost done. Now we're getting into the eyes. So I'm going to talk about some eye products, and then I'm going to talk about my palettes. So from an eye products perspective, if you guys have never seen the Velvet Foil Shadows from Almay, then you're missing out. If you guys like the Milk Makeup pigments, these are probably direct dupes for those. They come in like 6 different shades. I happen to have Astro Girl and Golden Vibes. And these are basically like the shimmer shade that you would like put on your lid, except these are 24-hour wear. And when I say 24-hour wear, I mean you need to use an oil-based makeup remover in order to get it off, which is amazing. I love that about this formula. Number one. Number two, if you have a lot of texture on your lid, so like I do, I have a lot of crepiness, fine lines and wrinkles. This has a very velvety formula to it. So what it does is it gives the appearance on your lid that your lid is nice and smoothed out. It just looks stunning on the lid, and I'll show you guys here what I'm talking about. I just put a little bit of both of these on here. So this is the gold, and then this is the Astro Girl. And you guys, these are gorgeous, and they're gorgeous on the lid. And these are 24-hour cream shadows, and they just come in these little tubes like this from Almay. You can get them at the drugstore, and they have like 6 different colors in these. Gorgeous, gorgeous formula. If you've never tried these, I absolutely would recommend that you guys check these out. These look amazing on the eye. Next up is from Kokie Cosmetics, and it is their Duo Metallic Shadows. Now, these are actually really, really awesome. I have 2 of them. I have Steal the Show and Haze. And I love these, again, as shimmer shadows, especially for the lid. Now, the one thing that's really neat about these is that it has 2 different layers. So the top layer is like a base. So it's like a cream that you would lay down on the lid first. So it's almost like a primer that you would lay on the lid. And I'll put both of the bases down first. So we'll put down the gold one, and then I have one that is a little bit pink. So do you see the base? So here's the gold base, and then here is the kind of taupey pink base. It's got a little bit of brown undertone to it. So that's the base, and then what you do is you lift up. So here's the base, and then you just snap that lid and you open this lid underneath here, and here is like the shadow. So I'll take a brush and we will tap the shadow on over top of the base, and it is gorgeous, you guys. And I'll do the gold too so you can see that. But these makes such a beautiful effect on the eye. So you have this here, it turns it into like a really stunning foil. And then you have this here that turns this into a really stunning like gold toned foil. And beautiful, beautiful colors. They have so many different colors in these, and they're really, really good. They last for a really long time. This is one of my favorite colors to put across the lid, and it stays there forever, like all day until you go to take it off. And again, these are from Kokie Cosmetics. They're called the Duo Metallic Shadows. Reach for these all the time. Now, lastly, before we get into palettes, I did just want to take a second and talk to you guys about these ColourPop, the Glitterly Obsessed glitters. I use glitters occasionally, like if we have a big event going on at the shop or something that we all need to look like spectacularly beautiful for. I use a lot of glitters. I love Lemonhead glitters is typically what we keep at the shop, but there's been a little bit of a kick up out there about ColourPop kind of duping Lemonhead a little bit. And I will say this, they are very different formulas. They perform differently. They look differently. But having said that, this is Outside the Lines by ColourPop, the Glitterly Obsessed line. And you guys, this is one of the best glitters that you can get to use on the eye in particular. So the one thing that I love about this particular formula is that when you take this out and you put it on your eye, it doesn't stay wet, it doesn't stay tacky, it actually dries down. So it just feels like you have normal eyeshadow on. It doesn't fly around everywhere, it doesn't make a mess, it literally stays exactly where you've put it, and then it dries down and it doesn't feel tacky. I love the way this stuff dries down. It's amazing. I don't know how they've done it, but it's amazing. And it really is just a pure glitter. And once it's on, and that's where it stays. It's no muss, no fuss. It doesn't go flying around everywhere. But look at that, you guys. It's absolutely gorgeous. There are so many colors in this. Now this has like a gold base to it, but you can see it has like a rainbow kind of shift going on in there. There's lots of silver in there. I don't know if you guys will actually be able to see all of the different colors in there, but do you see all of the different colors? It's gorgeous. And when you actually pack this like on the lid, you can get a really stunning look from it. Once this dries down, you can run your finger across it and you actually won't pick anything up. We'll give it a minute to dry down. But I did want to bring it up because it's a really good performing product for not a lot of money at all. It's very, very inexpensive, and you get a huge amount of product in here. This will last you forever, and it's like filled like up to the top. You can see where I've already stuck my fingers in it a couple of times, but this will last you forever. And these glitters are stunning, you guys. The formula is amazing. All right, so now this is completely dried down, and look, you guys, it's just like a regular eyeshadow. Like, it doesn't come off. It doesn't even really feel like there's really anything there. And it will just stay. Can you see? Like, it doesn't come off. It doesn't fly around everywhere. It just stays there. And it doesn't come off. I love that. I love that about this. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So, if you guys haven't checked out those glitters, definitely check them out. It is really one of the best cosmetic glitters that I have ever seen formulated out there on the market for the price, because of the price. And honestly, look at that. It's like no mess, no fuss, makeup wipe, you wipe it off and that's it. You don't have glitter all over your clothes and all over your face, and it's just like a no mess glitter that is just perfect. Perfect cosmetic glitter, and it's very inexpensive. It's very impressive. All right, so let's get into my most used inexpensive palettes of 2018. These two will start us off, and that is this series by NYX, you guys. This is from their Machinist line, I think it was called, and this is Ignite and this is Grind. And you guys, these formulas in these palettes, not all NYX's formula is created equal. I've learned that the hard way with some of their palettes. I prefer some of their palettes more so than others, but the formula that's in these particular palettes is home run formula. I loved both of these palettes, and I find that I reach for them quite often. I dig into this one a lot. I love the greens in here. I love these kind of burnt colors in here as well. Down here, this green that's down here is like a shifty green, and I love it. I use that a lot. I love this taupey kind of color right here. Looks beautiful on the eyes. These corals down here are stunning. These are gorgeous drugstore palettes. Now I will say NYX is getting up there as far as price is concerned. You would think that they were a drugstore brand, and then you look at their palettes and you're like, my God, you're charging upwards of $20 for palettes. You guys got to keep it in that drugstore space unless you're going to start running with the big dogs. And then if that's the case, then you better kick up your formulas a notch. However, those two in particular I used a lot this year. The other one that I used quite a bit this year is the Arabesque palette from Bad Habit Beauty. I can't even tell you guys how much I use this palette. I dug into this one. It is such a mess. I keep my stuff pretty immaculate, and this one is torn up because it got used a lot. This was the dupe for the Soft Glam palette. Now I actually have the Soft Glam palette. We reviewed it on my channel, but some of those shadows are just so soft, and they're a little they're not that they're ABH shadows take a little bit of time to work with. It's not that they're difficult to work with, but it is time consuming because it's a very specific formula. So it requires a specific amount of attention to get a beautiful look out of an ABH palette, and that just is what it is. However, this is just like a normal formula. So I can use this and get a soft glam look and not have to work at it as hard, but still have it look just as good. So I did find that I was reaching for this one a little bit more than I was reaching for my Soft Glam palette because I'm usually in a hurry. So that's very conducive to what I need. But this palette was gorgeous. I used it a ton this year. The only other drugstore or inexpensive palette that I really used like daily this year is the Bad Habit Divine palette. And you guys have heard me talk about this palette before on my channel, but I really used this palette a lot. I have used this color quite a bit. I've torn into all of these kind of neutral tones all through here. This is one of my favorite of all time Bad Habit Beauty palettes, and this one definitely got its workout this year. So this one probably my most used drugstore palette of 2018. All right, guys, so that is it. My most used drugstore products of this past year. Let me know what you guys used from the drugstore down in the comments below. I always love to hear what you guys are using. Is there anything here that you think you may want to try or go pick out? Make sure that you put it down in the comments below. I would love to hear from you guys. So this will be the first in a couple of series that we're going to do between now and the beginning of 2019, just kind of reflecting and going over the best of 2018. So I wanted to go ahead and get our drugstore video out of the way. And yeah, so that's about it. Oh, keep in mind, Monday the 17th, we have our live stream happening. And during that live stream, we're going to announce the winner of this week's giveaway. And my sister is also going to be there on Monday. It's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on my channel. Now, she is, for those of you that don't know, a professional makeup artist. She owns the makeup studio in Philadelphia with me. She is the talent end of the business and has been doing this and has been in this industry for years. So if you've ever wanted to sit down with a professional makeup artist one-on-one and ask them a lot of questions and have a conversation with them, Monday night is going to be the night for you to do that. So think about some really good questions that you've always wanted to ask and bring them to the table Monday night. She's agreed to come and sit down and do a Q&A with you guys, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think it will be a lot of fun. So make sure that you guys are there. Now, if you have a question that you would like for her to answer, and you may necessarily not be able to be there for the live on Monday night, then you can take that question and send it to me at my Instagram in a DM. I'll make sure that I ask her the question during our Q&A session, and the Q&A video will of course stay up live on my channel. It won't be live, but the video will stay up so that you can go back and watch it at any point in time, and I'll make sure that she answers your question. So feel free to send me your questions at Erica Approved. That's my Instagram. Just send it to me in DM, and I will make sure that I ask her those questions during the Q&A on Monday. And then Monday, I think we're going to do the announcement of what next week's giveaway is going to be. And next week's giveaway is my favorite week from the December Extravaganza. And the reason it's my favorite week is because we're going to be announcing the winner of that one on Christmas Eve. So on Christmas Eve, somebody is going to find out that they are the winner of something pretty freaking phenomenal. So you guys don't miss Monday. Make sure you're there, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Be there or be square. All right, guys, that is it. As always, I hope you guys are very happy and very healthy. I hope you guys are enjoying your holiday season. I love you the mostest, and I will see you guys in the next video.